Hello everyone, this is SWTOR here, back with another SWTOR Republic video. Today I have for you guys another SWTOR Republic discussion video. In today's SWTOR Republic discussion video, we're just going to be going over quote-unquote progression guilds. Now, I'm just going to be talking about progression guilds. I'm currently in one, and I just wanted to talk about, the fun things about it and all the different stuff that can really help you with it when it comes down to the game, just playing and all that different stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy the SWTOR Republic discussion video. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like. And if you guys want some nice gaming glasses, then check the link down below. No scope gaming glasses. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you guys in the discussion. Alrighty guys, let's get into the discussion right now. So in the SWTOR Republic, people tend to make these things called progression guilds. Now these guilds tend to focus primarily on PvP and PvE content. I've seen such thing. I actually haven't seen PvP progression, but I have seen PvE progression because you have people that try to do ranked and such, and of course get geared up for PvP. But for rather operation progression, it tends to be people try to make a little guild or a huge guild just primarily focused on just trying to get further and further and just proceed in certain operations and such. Usually at a pretty hard difficulty, they just try to complete them, and then I could say progress through the certain things. I mean, that's just kind of a simple way of saying it. Now, one thing that I really like about progression guilds is mainly the fact that it tends to, it's good with the progression guild because of course, you're able to get with a group usually of the same people just trying to complete the same content, so that's really useful because of course, if you're trying to complete content, you don't want to, go, for example, you just don't want to try to find a pug to, do Scum and Villainy Nightmare mode or something like that. But with progression guilds, you can just have usually a pretty set group where you can just try to constantly complete that rather than having to just deal with, just random people that you just find in the allies chat, for example, on the Ebon or you just try to find other people. So it is really useful, yeah, it definitely is really useful when it comes down to that, of course, with the progression guild. Now, I'm currently in a progression guild called Tragic Heroes. Now, I mean, I'm basically, kind of an alt because, I don't really have a set time when I'm actually able to, raid and such. But even then, that's fine because, once again, kind of the goal of it is you just usually get a team of people just ready to go ahead and just do some content. And then you just constantly do it, just try to have at it, just trying to complete the content. You just work together, and then, like I said, you're just trying to progress through the obstacle or the operation or anything for that matter. But yeah, I feel like that's a good thing about, progression guilds, is it allows you not only to, learn your class more, but it also allows you to, just kind of work together with other people and just try to complete the harder content in the game. So that's something that's really nice right there. Now, I know I can't really speak for everyone and be, 100%, just from my experience. Because basically when it came down to raiding and when it comes down to raiding currently, I tend to be someone that I don't really have a set time when I'm actually able to raid. So it really just comes down to whenever I'm available and other people just want to be down to do some really cool stuff. That is usually the case. Or I might be on and someone might need an alternate or something for a group. So of course I could be there just to help out with that. I mean, even then, that's just kind of the way I am, basically. I know that there are people that are able to, just have a flexible schedule, or they just have, a certain time slot where they're available to do some stuff. So that's what people tend to do with progression guilds, is they tend to, make a little time slot or a certain time where, they're gonna attempt, this operation for a certain amount of times before they give up and call it for a night or a day or something along the lines of that. You have people that do that, of course. You have people that, of course, with progression guilds are just like, hey, we have a lot of people on. Let's just go ahead and just try to, continue to try to complete this operation. So you have that. But I mean, honestly, in the end, really all of the progression guilds are the same. They just have a common goal of just trying to progress through a hard thing. Or something really simple, honestly. I mean, just something to do, just trying to progress. That is the point of it, and that's obviously why it's called a progression guild. So you do have that right there. Another thing that's also really nice about, progression guilds, and why, if you just want to be down to do some harder content or just try to progress through other stuff, is usually it tends to be really fun. It tends to be a lot more enjoyable when you're able to do it with the same group of people, because obviously, once again, when you're just going into random operations in the group finder or something, you're like, none of the people, and you have no idea what to do, and then sometimes people can make mistakes and not understand the mechanics, so then you might try to, help out, but of course, that can take some time. So people that don't exactly, they don't want to go into the group finder and they don't want to have some issues. So it's nice to have a, same, group of people just trying to complete the same content. Because, of course, you just get used to that, and that can help out a lot with, just mechanics and, completing them, because everyone will have a, good understanding of what can be done with that certain team. Also, something that's really nice about these guilds is also the fact that it tends to help you just in general with the game. Because with this, it helps you out with actually learning your class. So if you don't know your class already, then it can also usually help out, because when you're just trying to complete harder content, you have to realize, look, I gotta fix my gear up a little, or maybe I might be doing this in rotation or something for my class wrong. So that's also helpful, because then you can usually get other people that are trying to do the same thing. So you can usually just work together with them just to try and, become better at your class than you might already be. So that's something that's also pretty useful with it as well. So, I mean, it's nice, I guess, in the sense that, if you do want a challenge, or you just want to go and group up with the, similar people just trying to have the same exact interest with, of course, just trying to progress through operations and other stuff. So that's something that's useful. I mean, even then, when you think about it, there's not really any, I say, cons when it comes down to joining progression. Now, I mean, an only con I can really see is just the fact that if you tend to, I see an issue if, there can be, like, some fallout between members and stuff, but, I mean, even then, that's just a guild drama alone. But, yeah, completing content where you have no issues arise, or you don't have any issues where people are just attacking each other for no reason, that really makes it a lot more enjoyable. I guess you could say that could be the only con, but like I said, once again, that's just kind of like guild drama. I mean, that tends to happen in a lot of guilds in SWTOR Republic, and just, in any MMO, that can happen every now and then, because people might get mad at each other for whatever. But I mean, if you can just try to keep that away, then it usually is pretty well established. And you just try to, keep it calm. Because I mean, even then, even when I've joined, pugs where people don't exactly know the operations or stuff, I know that sometimes people can be, a bit harsh and rude and stuff. But usually with me, it tends to be, I usually just try to ask people if they know the mechanics. And if there are some issues, I just tend to, like, play it off. I just try to, usually if it just starts becoming too much of an issue, sometimes, I'll just say, like, let's try this for a couple more times, and then I'm probably going to leave or something like that. Because even then, it is kind of messed up. Just if someone doesn't know the mechanics, or you just, like, go into an operation, and you're like, oh, hey, you don't understand this, I'm just going to be rude to you for no reason. Because, I mean, some people have that idea where, if the person doesn't understand, then you don't teach them, and then you decide to be rude, and then it just ends like that. But I tend to be, if they don't understand, then I try to give a basic rundown, but I'm really bad at explaining things. So I just try my best. If there are some issues, then, it happens, and then usually I might leave the group later, but I'm never, rude about it and stuff. And that's a good thing about a progression guild, is just the fact that, you can basically go into the operations, and then even if you are making some mistakes and stuff, you can learn from that, and you can learn from other players that might, know the same exact spec or the same exact class as you. So that can help out as well, because they can help you improve if they're already doing, maybe even harder content than what you're currently doing. That's really useful and reliable, because you can just get some tips from people that, might know the class better, and people that, actually understand it a lot more. So it's really useful in a sense that, you can just get help from others, and then of course you can just raid with the same people and then complete the hard challenges throughout. But yeah, guys, that's all I really wanted to talk about in this SWTOR Republic discussion video. I just thought it was really smart and a good idea just to, just introduce some people that might not already know about this with progression guilds, because they are a really reliable and useful option when you want to get a bit of a challenge in the game, and you just want to go through some content with people that have these similar interests of just trying to complete it. So I mean, that's really it when it comes down to it, honestly. Just some of the factors I just went over. Like I said, I mean, I just mainly just went over what the progression guild can do for you. It can help you out with, just learning new stuff in the game. It can also help you out with completing operations, completing all that different stuff. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, or rather you enjoyed this SWTOR Republic discussion video. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.